What is happiness? What is happiness? Such an interesting question. The answer is going to vary depending on who you are, what you've been through, your personal definitions of happiness. And this question of what happiness is, it's going to change from moment to moment in your life. Happiness, I've used to associate it with excitement. That's how the Western way of life typically sees happiness, whereas the Eastern way sees it more like gratitude and contentment. I think for me, happiness is a balance. It's noticing the balance and beauty within all things. It's neither being content strictly, nor is it being fully excited strictly. It's a mix of both, because there's an interesting paradox around happiness, and that's that I call it the satisfaction paradox, where you can be so satisfied and so content with life that you basically stop improving, stop growing. You're so satisfied with how you're running your mile, how you're performing in your job, how you're performing in your thinking, your thought process. Look at typing. We all type every day, and most of us have reached that satisfaction part, and we're no longer improving. In life, we can reach that way. We can stunt our own growth just by having no more desire to improve. So too much satisfaction leads to complacency. But on the other hand, we need satisfaction, but we can't have too much of it. And on the other hand, not being satisfied with how you're doing can actually help you to grow as well. So it's a mix of both. You don't want two extremes of either. So on the one hand, we want to enjoy life. We want to be satisfied with life. We want to see the beauty of life, stop and smell the roses, all that jazz. But then on the other hand, we have to go after our greatest ambitions, our greatest callings in our hearts. We have to work towards improvement. We have to think about the future and not be so closed into the present moment. Because if we do that, it leads to unhappiness, depression. We all have goals, we all have dreams. And being satisfied in this moment is something that is beneficial for our health. It's important that we learn how to be satisfied with nothing, and it'll help us to be more satisfied when we achieve something. But we can't live in the either or mentality. That's the paradox I want to present to you today, is think about happiness. Think about your greatest ambitions. Think about your greatest goals in life. Think about all that. And then also think about how what you achieve in life, your greatest goals, your greatest ambitions, you can't live your life lost in your ambitions. You can't forget to enjoy the present moment, because most of your life is going to be in the middle. It's going to be in the waiting area between when you reach your goals. So we have to learn how to appreciate the beauty all around us. My definition of happiness is seeing the magic and beauty and intelligence to life that is all around us, while also going after our greatest ambitions. It's important that as you're going after what you want, after your dreams, that you also see the beauty in that. See the beauty in that struggle, in that challenge, and going after that. I just think it's everything that's difficult is valuable. Think about that. Everything that is difficult is valuable, because what's valuable is typically what so few people have. A principle that I like to follow is always going after my greatest ambition, my greatest desire in the moment. And that's something to think about, is that we want to go after our highest callings in life, because that's going to ignite our soul and spirit. And when we go after our greatest desires, our highest excitements, when we follow the highest excitements, I didn't say the lowest excitement, I said the highest one, that when we follow that, we're going to be more in line with joy and love and happiness. But just because we're going after our calling, our highest excitement, doesn't mean that it's going to be easy, It means that typically when we follow our highest excitement, there's going to be some level of fear. And fear is not a bad thing. Fear can be a signal inside of you that you care about something. If you didn't care about something, why would you fear it? Sometimes fear, following your fear, on the other side of fear, if you see there's something positive on the other side of fear, then go do it. If you struggle with social anxiety and can't get out of your house and talk to people because you have that fear of being rejected, well, go on the other side of that fear. What would happen if you just talked to the person, and if you just did that? And even if you got rejected, what if you just went and did that? Could you see a positive outcome on the other side of that? It could be that you're finally free from the prisons of your own mind. There's a certain level of joy that comes from when you're able to face your fears head on and go through them. Because on the other side of your fear can be your highest excitement, that you just want to feel connected to the world. Happiness is connection. It all boils down to it. Like, why do we do anything? What's the point of life? Like, why are we here? I think we just ultimately want a connection because we're going to college, we're paying bills, we're starting a family. Why? Because we want to feel happy. And why do we want to feel happy? Happiness isn't the best emotion, it's just the one that we want, because happiness gives us connections that sometimes other emotions don't. But happiness is not, our goal isn't to be happy all the time. The goal is really to just feel connected to every emotion. That's how I think we can have quote unquote everlasting happiness, is by being in the state of mind where we're happy. Even when we're sad, we're in that state of mind where we're just working on connecting to ourselves. We're allowing ourselves to love ourselves. Because to me, happiness is really just loving life, and love is connection, right? Love is connection. And what is connection? That's a good question. What is connection? It just feel like it means like you're relating to something so deeply, or maybe it's like you lose yourself in something, you become so one with it. You become one with everything. And that's a spiritual practice that even the Buddhists do. And the Taoists and the Hindus and Christians, everybody is ultimately after connection. Why are we going to church? Feeling connected. Why are we going to bars? Why are we doing jobs? Why are we raising families? It's connection. We're wanting to connect with people in deep ways and connect to ourselves in deep ways. So just think about the importance of relationships with connections, because they're the most important things we're going to have in life. And they can be the most happiest things, and when we lose them, they can be the most difficult things that we go through. But we know that they're important because of how we feel inside. Happiness is a relationship with life. It's a relationship with every feeling, because fear, anger, sadness, they're all okay emotions. They're all good. They all have ways, they're all trying to make you whole, complete, and connected. Because if we weren't angry about a performance we did, or if we weren't dissatisfied, or if we weren't fearful, then we couldn't be who we are today. We couldn't improve and we can't meet our goals and feel connected if we don't acknowledge that we're hurting when we are. Enough of that spiritual bypassing. A lot of people think, especially me at times, think we know more than we actually do, that we're more developed than we actually are. And it's time to go inside and admit that we don't know anything about how life works beyond our own feelings. We can only know how we feel deep inside, what we think. And it's time to get the courage and share your gifts and share what you're feeling inside your heart to other people. I challenge you all that I've been doing this too, and it's been really helpful, is write down 3 big fears that you want to overcome in the next year. And think about what kind of courage it's going to take for you to do that. And I want you to think about why this is worth doing, why it's worth facing your fears. Because courage is your connection to fear. It's your connection to yourself. And really, the reasons why all dreams fail is because of the inaction and fear and not taking any action at all. The worst thing is not death. It's not fear. The worst thing is not doing anything at all.